Hey guys, welcome to Homework Help for Year 5, Week 8. On page 6, we have question 1. Two angles of a triangle are 67 and 78. What is the size of the third angle? So imagine you have a triangle here. Whoops, a bit too big. Alright, and one of the angle was 67, the other one was 78. What is the remaining angle? 67 plus 78 plus this unknown angle, let's call it x, plus x is equal to 180. These two add up to how much? 67 plus 78, that'll be 5, this would be 745. So 145 plus some angle x, whoops, let me just change this back, plus with some angle x is equal to 180, so you can work out what x is. Alright, next one, the question 2, the vertical angles of an isosceles triangle is 36 degrees. What is the size of the other two angles? Okay, that looks a bit better. Isosceles triangle, it means that the two sides of this triangle is going to be the same length. And if you have two sides of the same length, which means that these two angles must be the same angle. It says the vertical angle, which is the top one here, the vertical one here, this angle is 36 degrees. So let me put that in blue. This will be 36 degrees. So what's the angle, what are these angles? That's what it's asking us. So we know that 36 plus this, let's call this x, and this one will also be x because they're both the same. So 36 plus x is equal to 180. So 36 plus what gives me 180? This has to be 180 minus 36. 180 minus 30 will be 150 minus 6, so it'll be 144. Okay, so these two add up to 144. Now these are the same. So what we do, we take 144, divide into 2, and you're going to get x. Going to get the angle that we're looking for. Moving on to question 3. A triangle with two equal sides. Okay, this one says write true or false for each of the following. A triangle with two equal sides is an equilateral triangle. Okay, this is two equal sides. Is this equilateral triangle? What do we know about equilateral triangle? Equilateral triangle has how many equal sides? All of the sides are equal. So imagine it'll be something like this. This is an equilateral triangle. This is called isosceles. Okay, so this one will be false. Angle sum of a quadrilateral is 360. Quadrilateral just means that there are 4 sides to this shape. So what's the angle sum of this quadrilateral? Well, we can divide it into any quadrilateral. We can divide into 2 triangles. A triangle has all the angles add up to how much? 180 degrees. And this one also adds up to 180 degrees. So that means if you add all these 4 angles together, what do we get? It'll be 180 plus 180, and that makes 360. So therefore, the angles inside of a 4-sided shape, so that angle plus that angle plus that angle plus that angle must be 360, which is true. Question 5. An angle of 92 degrees is an acute angle. Is that true? That's an easy one. I won't do that one. Question 6. Two angles of a triangle can be obtuse. By the way, let's just define what acute means and obtuse. Acute angle is anything that's 90 less than 90, so it has to be less than 90 degrees. Okay. An obtuse angle is more than 90 degrees. So obtuse. So let me just. So this is, imagine this is 90 degrees. An acute angle will be, oops. An acute angle will be like something like this. Anything less than 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is anything that's more than 90 degrees. So something like this. This is your 90 degrees. Then that angle there is an obtuse. Can two angles of a triangle can be obtuse? Two angles of a triangle. Oh, okay. So imagine if you have a triangle. Can two angles of a triangle be obtuse? Well, we know that one of them can. So imagine this one was, I don't know, let's say 150. This one could be, I don't know, 20, and this one could be 10, something like that. Okay. But if you have two obtuse, all right, one obtuse, that means this is more than 90 degrees. If you have two obtuse, that means that you have an angle that's, so one obtuse is you have an angle that's more than 90 degrees, 90 plus. If you have two obtuse, that means you have two angles that are more than 90 degrees. Can that happen? 90 plus 90 is already 180. If you have an angle that's more than 90, so let's say this angle, let's say we have an obtuse angle here, let's say 100, let's say 91. And you have another obtuse angle that's another 91. This will be 182. This is more than 180, so you can't have two obtuse angles in a triangle. You can only have one. If you have another obtuse angle, it's going to break the triangle. It's not going to work. So this one is false. Okay, question 7 to 9. The diagram shows a regular hexagon within a circle of radius 6. That means the radius here is 6 centimeters. Alright. So this is the radius from the center of the circle to one of the vertices. This will be 6 centimeters. Alright, now it says, what is the angle X? Well, we need to establish, let's draw lines connecting all of the Alright, so imagine, we know that if I was to go from, let's say, from this all the way around to here, back here again, I'll have 360 degrees. Because that's the angle of a revolution, okay? Now, if I draw, now this is 360 divided into how many pieces? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all even angles. So that means 360 degrees divided by 6, and you're going to get, what is this, 60 degrees, right? So that means all of these angles, let me just rub this out, is 60 degrees each. Now, also, we also know that this triangle, let's look at this top triangle here. I'm going to color this in blue. This triangle is an isosceles triangle because we know that this length is equal to this length because they're both the radius of the circle. So we know it's an isosceles triangle. Now, if this is 60, what are these two angles? What's X? So we know that 100. So we know that, let's say this is X. Whoops. This is X plus. So this is X. This is also X, by the way, because it's an isosceles triangle. X plus 60 equals to 180. So let's take away 60 to both sides. You get, so that means this must be 120, because 120 plus 60 is 180, right? These two must be 120. So we take 120 divided by 2, you're going to get X equals to 60. So X here is equal to 60 degrees. And we now know that each one of these triangles is an equilateral triangle because they got 60, 60, 60. They're all 60 degrees. And if it's equilateral triangle, that means that each of these must be the same length. All of them are the same length. So let me just rub this out. It looks a bit messy. So what I mean by that is this. So this, remember, whoops, this one is 6 centimeters, which means that this one must be 6 centimeters. These are all 6. All these triangles are equilateral triangles, and they all have a length of 6. All 6 centimeters. Okay. Now, what type of triangle is CDF? So CDF is this triangle here. Let me color that in blue. This is a right angle triangle. Okay, now you don't need to know why it's a right angle triangle for now, just know it's a right angle triangle. This will be explained in the later years to come. So this is a right angle triangle. Okay. Alright, next one. What is the perimeter of a regular hexagon? So what's the perimeter of this hexagon? Well, we know that, I'm going to redraw the hexagon up here. And I said that each side of this is 6 centimeters. So what's the perimeter? Perimeter just means you got to add all of the sides up. You can find that out. Now, which solid which shape does each net form? This is an 8-sided shape, and we know that's called an octagon, like an octopus. Octopus has 8 arms, so this is octagonal prism. Okay, this shape is supposed to be drawn like this, so it's drawn incorrectly. This part we don't want this part, we don't want this part. It's supposed to look like this. Okay, so imagine if we fold this up, what we get. You can figure that out. You can tell that all of these triangles go towards the center up here, so it looks like something like this if we fold it up. Okay, now what's this shape called? Well, it's a pyramid. What kind of pyramid? Well, it depends on the base. If the base is a square, it'll be a square pyramid. So that's the answer there. This one is easy. Fold it up, figure out what the shape is called. The diagram shows the net of an ordinary die. Fill in the spots on the missing faces. Note, opposite faces of a die add to 7. So on a dice, the opposite faces will always add up to 7. So we have to figure out which one are opposite faces when we fold this up. So for example, this face here and this face are opposite face, so they add up to 7. So if this is a 3, this must be a 4, because 4 plus 3 will give me 7. So you just draw 4 dots there to indicate that that face has 4. It's a 4. Okay, so what else? This face and this face is opposite, so you can figure out what number goes in there. And this face and this face is opposite when you fold it, so you can figure out what goes in there. Alright, next one, question 15. You see, it says here top of the cylinder slice off as shown in the diagram. So here's your cylinder, and someone's cut a slice off diagonally like this. Okay, now if we were to, what type of net is formed from the bottom part of the cylinder? So if we were to open up this cylinder here, if we open up this net, what do we get? Well, you're gonna get what shape there? Try and figure it out. Okay, the answer is gonna be that one. Okay, question 16 to 18. Each diagram shows the front and top view of a solid. Name each solid. Okay, so this is the front view, and this is the top view. So if you were, I don't know, imagine from the front we saw this, but then from the top you see this like this triangle shape. So if I was to redraw it, it might look something like this. And imagine all of these are the same length. So what is this? Well, it's a cube, isn't it? This is the top. This is the top looking down. Oh, this is the sorry, this is this is the top here. Okay. And the front is this one. Okay, and if you draw it, it'll look like this. So it's a cube. Next page. Okay, so this is the front and top. So imagine if the top looks like that, and the front looks like this. What do you think this, if I draw this, so it might look something like this. And then we have, wait, hold on. Oops. So it might look something like this. There you go. What kind of shape is that? Now this one's upside down, I believe. It's supposed to be like this. So this is the front. And this is the top. So imagine if you were to combine these two. So there's the top. It looks like an ice cream cone. Okay. So you combine it to the top. This is the front one. Okay. So what kind of shape is that? You can name them, and then that's the answer. Question 19 and 20. 27 small cubes have been glued together to make one large cube as shown in the diagram. This large cube is then painted blue all over. How many small cubes will have two sides painted? So imagine if I just color this in blue. Now, which one will have two sides? If I paint, let's say, the corners, how many sides does this cube have painted? You have three sides painted: the top, the front, and the side. Okay. So the corners don't count. What about this middle one here? This one have only 1 and 2 painted. What about the center here? You only have 1 painted. So that the center cube, okay, will only have 1 side painted. The other sides are hidden inside of the cube, so it doesn't get painted. So that means that these ones here will get 2 sides painted. That one, so that one there, that one there, that one there, that one there, the bottom one. And then you're gonna have the other side, which is 1, 2, the bottom 3, and the left 4. And then you're gonna have to count these ones: 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have, all right, so it looks a bit messy. I'll just show you this one. So for this side here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got 4. On the other side, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I got another 4. Okay, and then we have to include the sides here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, another 4. So how many have 2 sides painted? Well, there's the answer there. Have no sides painted. Well, if you can imagine that all of the cube, every face will have been painted, that means that all the cubes have been painted. Which cube is hidden and cannot be painted? Well, there's only one hidden, and that's in the very center. It's the middle cube that's in it. That one cannot be painted. Okay, because we're painting the outside, it doesn't affect the inside one there. Everything else except for that cube is not painted. So how many have no sides painted? Just 1. Now, question 21. What is the acute angle between 430? So imagine 430. Okay, this is your 12. This is your 6. This is 3 and 9. Now 430 is from the center. We're going to go down to 430. And 430, this is 4 and 5. 430 is between, the short hand should be between the 4 and the 5. And the long hand should be towards the 6 because it's 430. And what's the angle that's between, the acute angle that's between here? What's this angle here? Okay, so let me just draw the dotted line to show you the hours. We know that each hour contains 30 degrees. So between 5 and 6, that's 1 hour, so that's 30 degrees. Now, this will be another hour. Okay, but 4:30, the shorthand is going to point halfway between the 4 and the 5. So this angle is only half of the hour. Okay, so this will be 15 degrees. So how many degrees altogether? Between 4:30? Well, that'll be 30 plus 15. Question 22. What's the size of one of the angle of an equilateral triangle? So we have an equilateral triangle. And the question is, imagine this is an equilateral triangle, all the sides are the same. Now, if all the sides are the same, we know that in the equilateral triangle, all the angles are the same. So whatever, let's say this is called x. This will be x, this will be x. In the equilateral triangle, all the angles are going to be the same. So x plus x plus x is equal to 180. So that's 3, or we could say 3 times x is equal to 180. So what's x? 3 times what is 180? You figure it out there. Question 23. Find the fourth angle of a quadrilateral given the other 3 sides are 45, 70, and 120. So this is probably 45, this is 70, this is 120. What's this angle here? Okay, we know that all of the angles are, let's call it angle X, that one there, I'll color it in blue. So we know that all the sides of all the angles of a quadrilateral add up to 360. So x plus 45 plus 70 plus 120 equals to 360. Now what does this add up to? 45 plus, so 70 plus 120 is 190 plus 45 is 235. So 235 plus x is equal to 360. Can you work out what angle x is? Next one says a solid is formed by cutting off the corners of a cube as shown. Find the number of sides of the new solid. Okay, so this one you just have to think for a bit. How many sides does it have? Some of them sides. So faces. How many faces? So you just count it. This one is BODMAS. You can do that on your own. Question 2. Now next page. Let me read this one. It says 2 circles fit exactly into a rectangle. The radius of one of the circles is 6 centimeters. Find the area of the rectangle in centimeters squared. So let's go back to this picture and I'll show you what it means. So here's your diagram, and it says the radius of the circles. These are the 2 identical circles. The radius of each circle is 6 centimeters. So the radius is 6. This is again the radius, 6 centimeters. Let's just draw all the way. Okay, so from the center to the circumference is 6. The radius is 6 centimeters there. So I'm just going to draw this to show you something. So we want to find the area of this rectangle. Well, what is the width? The width is what? 6 plus 6, 12. What is the length? You can figure it out once you find the length. So remember, area of a rectangle is length times width. Okay, and you can work out what the answer is to this question. Question 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll probably do that in class. So these ones, you don't need help with these ones. Okay, that should be it.